Altidore, we haven't got to him yet, and Dempsey. I thought, well, Altidore was in there. He did fine. Nothing spectacular. He had some opportunities. Dempsey, same thing. Created some opportunities, in fact, for himself, but nothing went in the goal, and that's really the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see Josie developing into a solid striker. He's holding up the ball. He's playing physical. He's getting in there. He's drawing fouls. However, he has yet to find the back of the net under Klinsmann's era. He needs to start finding that. He is setting up other players. He is doing the dirty work, which is what a lot of our U.S. strikers have been known to do, more so than scoring. Yeah, I mean, he had some really good games, and his time over in Holland is showing that it's improving him. Whether or not it's just the consistent playing time that's really improving him, or if he's actually learning to become a solid option as a striker over in Holland.
Yeah, he actually looks like he's in shape this time. Which
that's helping.
It was like a couple years ago. You're like, the dude's tired at halftime. What? Yeah. But in Hull, he would be cramping up after playing for 30 minutes, and you're like, he's been out there for 30 minutes and he has cramps. Eat a banana, dude. Come on. Anyhow,
I thought Dempsey did well as normal. I think Agudalo's still showing his rawness. He's still a raw player. We talked about him beforehand. He's not getting any playing time, or not much playing time with his club.
Yep.
He's at some points he's frustrating to watch, but at some points it's jaw dropping. The talent's there. He just needs to find consistent playing time. Same thing we said about Josie a couple years back.
Was it Della Camera last night that said, or was it Harks who said, "Oh, if I'm the New York Red Bulls, I might try playing Thierry Henry out on the left side."
I think that was Harks. Yeah. I think that was Harks. I was listening to that.
I don't know what he's smoking. I like Thierry Henry on the left midfield, but the reason he's able to play left midfield for Barcelona is, first of all, the formation that they play suits that, and second of all, they had some incredible strikers playing in the middle. So now you're going to have Agudelo and Rogers playing the striker positions, and you're going to have Henry out left. I think that...
put your biggest goal scorer off to the side? No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and then what? He's going to have to actually play some defense on the left then, too. So
maybe
what?
Agudelo's going to have to play out left.
He's 30 what? Yeah, exactly. He's a 30-something old guy. I mean, Henry's still in great shape, but I wouldn't make him run all over the damn field all game long covering the left side. So, anyhow, New York doesn't play that setup and that formation, so that's not something that's going to happen. It would be very very un-Hans Backe-like for that to happen. Well, let's get to some of the commentary after the game, because Landon Donovan was interviewed after the game, and, he kind of said the same thing. Well, we lost because it looked like a lot of guys were tired. Well, I got to ask, I mean, they're doing two-a-days, and I mean, if your team's that burned out between a 3-day rest, I mean, to me, that's kind of saying something.
Klinsmann's heavy on conditioning, and it's been talked about for the past couple of camps that they may be overworking the players prior to the games, and at that point, that's when they're showing their tiredness.
Yeah, because I had never seen us so consistently tired after the first half, over and over and over and over again. So hopefully, we fix that. And then the commentary about Jurgen Klinsmann, his glass is always overflowing. I think it was Lawless that said that. It's not half full, it's overflowing. And, I wonder how many of us are sick of Jurgen smiling, but he didn't smile much yesterday after the game during the interview. So maybe he's getting it at this point. Maybe he's realizing, well, this is going to be kind of a pain in the ass to make this happen. And we talked about it, and you talked about, the discussions that are going on, and between having a very creative style, which everybody seems to want us to play, where we're not winning because, A, we're not used to playing it, and the Hispanic guy who was on there with Lawless, I can't remember his name, said if this is the team that we're going to have going forward, if this is the lineup, if these are the players, then it doesn't look good, and this creative style may not work. Maybe we should go back to playing. He didn't say this, but I was thinking, well, if he really believes that, and a lot of people do believe we don't have the players to play this creative style, maybe we better go back to being workmanlike and disciplined instead of, as Harks said it, I think, or not Harks, it was a couple games ago, it was the Honduras game, where they were saying, the commentators were saying, well, what Klinsmann really wants is people to stop thinking about formation and being where they need to be and in the formation. They want him to be creative. Well, that's fine. And if you're good at it, and it's going to take a long time. So either we're going to have to be really patient because we don't have the players and then we have to wait for the players, or we do have the players and they just need to learn how to play creatively.
I think we have some talented players. As far as overly creative players, I think we're limited to the number of players. We don't. I mean, when I say overly creative, I refer to the players similar to like the Freddie Adus, who can create out of nothing, small little things, but they're not necessarily the workhorses that we're used to playing on teams. And in all honesty, maybe a Freddie Adu would flourish in Klinsmann's formations if you give him the chance to. He does have the creativity to bring to the team. However, I think the problem is not necessarily saying this is a style I want to implement. Learn it. I think the problem should be. I think that it should be. This is the style I want to play. Here are the players I have. How can I best utilize it?
Yeah.
Because the thing is we have some talented players, but we don't have the type of team that's really going to be playing very fluidly, very, very creative, very open, move around the field wide open, and it's not going to happen.
No.
We need to have some form of structure. We need to have, and I know he said he doesn't want the players to play positions, or to forget about positions. He wants them to play a little more creative. But I think they need to worry about positions.
Yeah.
I think that there should definitely be that factor, and I think the team itself that we brought out for Ecuador, the team we brought out for Honduras, the actual players itself isn't the problem, which is what the guy with Lawless was talking about. It's not the team, the players. It's certain players in the formation we're trying to utilize. Mm-hmm. I think if we made a couple alterations with a couple players, which we did, we saw Roscoe gets brought out completely against Ecuador, and I think that improved our defensive formation stability and everything. I think our center midfield tandem is still going to be kind of an issue if we're going to continue playing Adu and Beckerman. I mean, they're very similar players, and you have somebody like Danny Williams who is primarily more of a defensive mid, so you have three defensive midfielders playing in basically in the midfield, and you have Shea or Beasley playing on the left. Mm-hmm. I think we just need to alter the player selection. And I think that's going to happen closer with the qualifications. But
well, I think more of the other issue, Brett, is how many of these players, when they go back to their club teams, are going to be asked to play the same type of creative soccer? Not many.
Very, very few.
Not many. And so you're trying to change the mindset of a team. Does Timmy Chandler get up the left wing when he plays for Nuremberg? He does. But is he also very disciplined and formation-minded? Absolutely. Is Gooch at Sporting? Yes. Is Boca at Rangers? Yeah. Yeah, they play a pretty disciplined type of soccer there. Dolo at Hanover, very disciplined soccer. Williams isn't going willy-nilly wherever he wants. And I know that's not really what they meant to say during the Honduras game, and I hope it's not. And I hope that's not what Klinsmann is saying, because I don't think you can just, if you're not Barcelona, if you're not Spain, you just don't say, well, I want you to forget about the formation so much. In what position you're. I want you to just go out there and be creative. Be creative. Have fun. That's a nice thing to say, but I can guarantee you the more and more losses we stack up, the less and less we're going to continue to play like this. At some point, they're going to buckle up and say, listen, all right, we tried all that fancy, creative stuff. Now we've got to be disciplined. We got to make sure we don't let in that cheap goal. And we didn't even get to Tim Ream, by the way, who's getting a lot of blame for that. But let's be honest. I'm going to cover it right now. Let's be honest, Brett. Tim Ream did the number one no-no as a center back covering a striker in the middle of the box when the ball's on the wing. One, you use your hands to keep in some sort of contact with a player, but you don't take your eye off the cross, ever. You don't take your eye off the ball when somebody's out in the wing. You try to keep, you'll take little peeks over to make sure you're next to your player and you got a hand on him on the shirt or the shoulder or wherever you got to be touching that guy so you know where he is. But you look at that play, Ream is not even looking at the ball. He doesn't even know a cross is coming. That's the big problem right there. And so that's just
That's how I got beat.
Yeah, that's 101. That's defense 101. So, yeah, beat up on Ream all you want, I guess, but, it was a mistake. And a lot of guys make mistakes. It was a simple mistake. But anyhow, go ahead.
Despite popular opinion, hoping that Ream won't be included in the next, the popular opinion of the masses, Klinsmann is still rather high on him. He's still going to call him in, I guarantee it.
He's hanging out with Beckerman too much.
He thinks he claims that Ream's going to be a future center back option for the U.S. So he's going to give him the chance and the time now to gain the experience. Who knows what Ream's going to turn into? But a lot of people are down on him. A lot of people say, "Get out of here, come back a couple more years after you have more experience, maybe."
Yeah. I mean, it's you don't want to be too hard. I mean, he's a kid. He's a young kid. This is he hasn't been playing, and you could almost see him deflate on the field and went in.
Oh yeah.
And he got the worst thing for him must have been watching Howard and Gooch and all the other guys around him just roll their eyes like, I can't believe that just happened. And everybody in that whole stadium knew who blew it. Had to be tough.